All right, thanks for tuning into Leading Forecast, and I'm Joseph Cooper. And I tell you what, we got a lot to talk about today. Flooding and severe weather, the two primary issues we're dealing with right now. Let's go on over rain right now, up across Wisconsin, even some across Minnesota, the Great Lakes area. We'll see more thunderstorms develop, probably back out into here a little later on this afternoon in a few hours here. Some storm chasers I know are waiting and ready out there. You know, we've had the potential for severe weather yesterday that really didn't really pan out, except for with one isolated storm. Another today, and another tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and you know, goes on till Thursday, maybe even Friday here, which we'll talk about here in a second. Current satellite, you can see. Look at this big spin out here. This is where your low pressure center is. Low pressure center here. We have a warm front lifting up through here, and you can see all the clouds north of the warm front, and that's where our primary thunderstorm focus is going to be today. Is going to be up along the warm front. Let's go on over current watches and warnings. Big right now, no watches in place. We do have those flood warnings still in effect that we've been talking about for seems like forever now. We actually do have civil emergency messages down across the Memphis area here, and we'll pull those up real quick. If we can kind of zoom in, and I'll give you a little idea here. And you can see we're talking about around here 47 feet in Osceola. You know, our average is 28, our record, almost to a record here. And then Memphis is at 47.8, and they're almost to the record by, you know, 0.2 of a foot. You know, so they're actually prompting people to go ahead and evacuate in some of those counties. In fact, they'll put up this message, and we're, you know, Shelby counties, they're actually asking people to go ahead and get their stuff and go ahead and evacuate, you know, in this statement, you know, through here. And so very serious situation taking shape down there across Tennessee with a lot of heavy flooding across the Mississippi River, you know, and a very serious situation. We were down there last year when they got all the flooding, and in Nashville, not a good situation. Severe thunderstorm risk today. We'll zoom in on this a little bit so we can, well, maybe. Good night. There we go. We do have one area of severe weather potential out here across the Dakotas. You can see across North Dakota and South Dakota there, and even into northwestern Nebraska. And then we have a different area down here across the Midwest, and this is going to be primary damaging winds and large hail in that area. And then tomorrow we have the slight risk up here, and then we have a slight risk down across Texas that may be extended up into Oklahoma, and then another slight risk out across the southeast here. And I think your primary risk is probably going to be down here across the South Carolina, North Carolina area. Then as we get into Wednesday, here's your slight risk. We may see a moderate come out across this area here. Central Oklahoma, up through south central Kansas. May see a moderate risk. We'll have to wait and see how things turn out. I know we're kind of flip-flopping back and forth with shear, but I think, you know, the shear is good enough, especially up into the Kansas area here, where, you know, we're going to support a decent threat for tornadoes, some good instability. So we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. And then as we get into Thursday, your severe threat kind of comes out across the nation's heartland here, places like Springfield, St. Louis, all the way up towards Davenport. Gets in on the severe weather as we get into Thursday afternoon. Here we go. This is the simulated radar for a little later, and we'll pull this up. This is by 22Z, and you can see one supercell out across South Dakota here is what this kind of looks like. The same thing it did yesterday. Forecasted that one supercell, and sure enough, it's pretty much what happened. Had that one that produced some hail and I think a brief tornado. So, and so not a lot of coverage forecasted for today. Let's go on over the 500 millibar pattern here. You can see big trough digging in. Coming down through this area here, big mid-level low sitting here, as well as another one here. This is the NAM, and that's coming through the day. We're still at a kind of a positive tilt today. Then as we get into I guess this is Wednesday, you can see as we get the mid-level low there, and then we start to get a negative tilt, and that's where we're starting to see a lot of diffluent flow here. You can see this isobar coming up through here. We got another one coming out through here, and you know, we start to get a lot of flow out into this area, and we get a lot of air lifting off the ground, and we start to get thunderstorms emerging. And then as we get into Thursday, here it comes out across the Great Plains, trough still to a negative tilt here, and you can see still have the good diffluent flow coming off of it here, and which could cause some more thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms out into that area. I really think the St. Louis area, as we get into Thursday, could be a very primed area. Here we go as we get into, this is tomorrow. You can see kind of a big wave coming up through here. Here's your warm front draping down through here, and then you got the dry line cold front area coming down through here. Thunderstorms developing, like I said, whoops, down along this area is probably going to be your best severe threat, I think, tomorrow. We may may not have enough of a forcing and too much cap. It may not work out in the plains tomorrow. However, as we get into Wednesday, it becomes a much different story. Here comes your low getting better formed. And now your front's draping down here, and then you got a dry line cutting across this area here, and you end up with the triple point situation up here across northern Kansas, and then the dry line situation across, down here across Oklahoma, and thunderstorms emerge all along that area. And like I said, northern Kansas right now looks best for tornadoes, I think, as we get into Wednesday. I think Wednesday will be your primary day of severe weather. And then as we get into Thursday here comes your low now coming up across Iowa, and then your front coming down across the Midwest into the south, and your warm front now extending kind of off into this area, and we get thunderstorms developing out into the warm sector here as we get into Thursday. And but with all the way things are lining up, it definitely looks like this area out to here is going to be your primary area as we get into Thursday. Wouldn't be surprised to see some tornadoes Thursday as well. Some decent EHI values that day. So anyways, that's really all I have for now. Again, big story right now is the flooding down across Tennessee. So if you live along the Mississippi, this whole stretch right here, pay attention and get ready, because it looks like they're going to be trying to evacuate you here pretty soon. And anyways, that's all that's going on now. Stay safe out there if you're along the river, or if you're out chasing, or in the storm, severe storm area. So that's all I have for now. Have a great week. I guess it is. It's Monday. Wow. Jeez. And stay safe out there. You can view this on swiftchaseteam.com as well as thedailyforecast.net.